Have you ever heard the term, you are what you eat? Or how about the phrase, if you hang out with 4 broke people, you're gonna be the 5th broke person. Or if you hang out with 4 millionaires, you're gonna be the 5th millionaire. The power of association and who you hang out with is obviously super, super important. But today, when we think about mindset, it's not just about who we hang out with, but who we identify as. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the power of our identity and how that impacts our mindset for long-term success with our mind and with our life. What's up guys, my name is Jonathan, and on this channel we give you tools and tips to inspire entrepreneurship and to create lasting, lifelong success. And in this video, it's video number 3 in our series on mindset, and it's one of my favorite topics overall, but this video today is crucial because if you don't get this part right, if you don't get your identity right, you're gonna be completely cheating yourself out of the power of mindset and out of the power that having a positive mindset can have in your life. So as we get into it, going back to video number 1 and number 2, we looked at hacks in video number 1 and just kind of basically talked about the fixed versus growth mindset. Video number 2 was all about 4 practical ways rather, that we could have a more positive mindset. So while this was all super, super important, none of these things are gonna work with our mindset, with our manifestation, right? With our affirmations that we might do daily, with any of the morning routines or rituals or different things. None of this is gonna work unless we see some practical results. And these new mindsets and these new habits we're getting into start forming habits and then start becoming part of our identity. Right? If you don't make it part of your identity, what you're gonna end up doing is going on this high of affirmations and feeling really good and pumped up and having this positive mindset, but it won't be real. It won't be grounded in your identity. It won't be grounded in the practical elements that you as a person need to see to kind of prove to yourself that whatever you're doing is actually working. And so that's why identity here is so important. So let's get into it and talk about how we can actually hack our identity to help encourage our mindset and how both mindset and identity work hand in hand to help us get the success in life that we're looking for, whether that's personally, professionally, or whatever it is. So jumping right into it, what is your identity? So we talked about before, your identity is not just what other people see you as, but it's what you see yourself as. Now this could be wrapped up in so many things, from your work, right? What you do professionally, how you identify there. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a manager, right? Are you a boss? Are you a lone wolf? Are you a solopreneur, right? What do you do? Are you a scientist? Are you an engineer? Are you an entrepreneur? Like I said before, a lot of entrepreneurs, they identify as an entrepreneur. It's very hard for them to ever work for someone again because they identify as this maverick personality that doesn't work well under others, right? And this is a mindset that they've adopted. So if they're ever in a situation where they have to actually go work for someone else, it may be very tricky because it may feel like they're not being true to who they are as people. Now, while that's really good to know, again, that's something to do with identity. You're taking on this identity as a maverick, as an entrepreneur, or you're taking on this identity as an engineer or a finance person, right? Or a trainer in a gym. All these different types of professions have different identities that go along with them. Now, what actually makes up this identity? Well, when you think about someone who is, let's say, a trainer in a gym, they are going to exhibit certain behaviors, they're going to talk in certain ways, and they're going to have a mindset on life, all that's centered around training, fitness, gyms, what they do, right? This is the same thing in finance. This is the same thing for someone who is in the military. Everyone is going to have their own worldview and perspective on things that's going to form their identity. Now, they're going to have these feelings, and this is not just going to be how other people see them, but it's going to be how you see yourself. So when thinking about this, why is this important? Well, if you don't make sure that you are anchoring everything that you're doing mentally with everything that you're doing physically, there's going to be this disconnect. And like I said before, it's going to be almost like this high. Imagine going to a big convention, a big motivational speaker convention, and people are just pumping you up and everyone's around you and you're getting all the materials and you're writing in the booklet and you really feel inspired and encouraged. What happens 2 or 3 days later? right? As soon as you've left and the excitement is over, well, you start forgetting about it. You start, the positive effects of that time start wearing off because that's not your reality. That's not what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. That was an event that happened. It was super, super fun. You got stoked and excited, but there was no carry-on. There was no follow-through for you to actually anchor it in your real life. And so that's what I'm talking about here. Hacking your mind and understanding that your mind can only go so far. You can only trick yourself so far to get excited and motivated and pumped. But if you don't take the steps to actually make sure that that is anchored in reality and you're moving in a positive direction towards what you're telling yourself in your mindset, your positive mindset that you actually want to have happen, you are going to completely get discouraged and tire out. I can tell you this has happened to me from personal experience. I'll watch YouTube videos or I'll watch different people on Instagram and I'll feel so inspired and I'll feel pumped and I'll just be like, I can conquer the world. And then very quickly, my kids will come in and interrupt me. A couple business things won't go how I liked them to go. And all of a sudden, I'll just feel so discouraged and I'll let that impact me. And it's because I haven't done the mental work anchored with the physical work to start identifying as this new version of myself that I really want to see. So again, as we think about our mindset, let's think about not just having those affirmations, some of the morning rituals and different things that we're going to be talking about, but let's think about also making sure that we are walking the talk and talking the talk and actually immersing ourselves in the environment of this new person that we want to be, this new mindset that we want to take on. I'm going to give you a little bit of an example here. If you are interested in becoming a trainer, it's important not just to go out and get the education and not just to look in yourself in the mirror and say, I am a trainer, I'm fit, I work out, I get all these clients. It's not just important for you to do that, but it's actually important for you to do the practical things that put you in that category and make you feel like you're making progress. This could be even silly things like wearing clothes that you associate with trainers, right? Hanging out with other trainers, spending time when you're online looking at things that trainers are looking at, right? Looking at YouTube videos of different training techniques, reading blogs and news articles about physical fitness and training and sales for the fitness industry and all these different things, right? You're starting to behave, talk, think, act like someone who's involved in the fitness industry. So your identity starts becoming wrapped up in that. Now all of a sudden you don't just have to rely on your positive affirmations, right? And these mental things that you're doing, these mental exercises. You're doing the mental exercises, yes, but they're grounded in reality because you've taken those steps. You've maybe spent the money on a course or something like that. But the money on the course is not going to matter unless you're actually applying it. And then as you look back on your life, you start seeing, wow, my identity is starting to be made up of these little pieces that have to do with physical fitness. And of course, this is just one example. My sister is a trainer and she is just in the process of expanding her business. And so I've got a front row seat to that. So that was what was top of mind. But whether you're an engineer, whether you want to start a business, especially this works if you're trying to, make a change in your life. If you're trying to be more positive, let's say, you need to ask yourself those questions. What do positive people do? How do positive people act? Who do positive people spend time with, right? And when you ask yourself those questions, it's giving this practical and very physical anchoring point for some of these mental exercises that you might be doing and that we're going to be talking about here. So anyway, I want to hear from you guys. What are some practical things that you do to identify with a certain category, whether that is something professionally, whether that's something personally, whether that's a hobby, right? I want to hear from you guys. What are some of those things? Is it clothing? Is it the way you talk, right? Or is it the places you hang out? Because I think all of these things are very, very important to kind of create this circumspect picture for yourself and others about who you are, and this will anchor in your mindset and actually allow you to have that positive mindset or have that growth style mindset where you're constantly pushing yourself forward. So leave a comment for what you're doing. What are some of the practical things that you're doing as you're moving into a new industry or moving into a new mindset and maybe space and who you are as a person? Let me know what you're doing. I would absolutely love to see that. And of course, I would love if you would subscribe. I enjoy putting these videos out, and your subscribing means that this channel keeps growing and you keep getting alerted as we release new videos. So that would make a big difference to me. You can also connect with me on other social channels. The information for those are in the description below, and I will have links, different places you can find me. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, the attention, and you guys sticking with me if you stuck with me this far. So anyway, have a wonderful day. Remember, a positive mindset can absolutely change your day, and taking the steps needed to actually identify and those practical steps to anchor that positive mindset with that practicalness of your positive life will make a huge difference. So have a wonderful day.